All right, everybody, what is going on? Good afternoon. I hope you guys are doing well. And we've got some more right tackles to get through here. Just the back end, the very back end of the draftable right tackles in this draft. And then we're moving on to better things starting, I believe, tomorrow. We will be moving on to linebacker. And then we'll just be kind of wrapping things up with a few more positions before we get to the actual draft. So let's start with Falamo I believe is how you pronounce it. I looked it up, but I found some contradictory information, but it's the Wake Forest guy. This video is sponsored by Prize Picks. More on them in a moment. He's 24 when the season starts. He is a little bit on the smaller side, not critically so, but he does have decent arm length, almost 34 inches, big hands. So physically, I think he can play tackle. Maybe you can make an argument that he's more of a left tackle than a right tackle build-wise, but regardless, some of the big boards are actually high on him and have him in the fourth. The aggregate, however, puts him down in the seventh, late seventh, actually. He didn't really play that well in college, according to PFF. They thought he was okay last year and below replacement level the previous year. But not bad either. Now, the positives with Faamoe are he should be able to make it at tackle. He should be a good tackle because he has the length and size for it. He can muscle out power rushers and force them back. He does have that ability to push back against bull rushes. He's got powerful hand strikes that generate real force. He also slides laterally to get to the right spot, so his lateral slides are legitimate. And he does leg drive defenders out of the hole. There is legitimate ability to move defenders out of the hole to clear lane for the run. Now, he's yet another one of these college guys, and this goes for most college offensive linemen, but it's still worth noting he doesn't bend his knees. He doesn't play with leverage yet. Needs to learn how to do that. He's not a great athlete. He's okay. He didn't test, but he's a mediocre athlete. He doesn't sustain blocks as long as he could. Like, he does have big hands. He should be able to sustain his blocks a little bit better. And even though he can physically move laterally pretty well, he's a little slow at, like, recognizing when he's supposed to start moving laterally against rushes. So even in that front, it's imperfect. So I think he'll be a pretty good backup right tackle in the NFL. Maybe he can go beyond that. But he wasn't even that good at Wake Forest, which is not a big school or anything. And overall, I do think that you have to recognize the limited ceiling here because he is already a little bit of an older prospect. So 6th round pick. I don't think you can go too wrong with it in this draft. I'm not going to get too down on a guy who I do think has enough positive traits to be a net positive in the NFL on some level. All right, that's Famoe. Alex Harkey of Oregon's our next guy here. A lot of my viewers are probably intimately familiar with Harkey because of the college he played at. 25 when the season starts. A little bit on the leaner side, 6'6" and only 308 pounds. Arms are very short, 32 and a half inches. Maybe it's actually a little bit better than that, but it's still not great. Decently sized hands. Big boards, ESPN and CBS, they have him. PFF has him way, 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 way down. CBS actually has him in the third. I don't know where that came from, but he's a late 7th round pick on the aggregate. Had kind of a down year in 2025. He had great PFF scores the previous year, but last year they did not like him. Had a lot more penalties and was leakier in pass protection overall. Do you like sports? If you do, then the best way to make them even better and more exciting is using Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. Prize Picks makes daily fantasy simple. Just pick more or less on your favorite players' projections and build lineups with a few taps. Whatever sport you're into, Prize Picks gives you a fun way to stay locked in while you're watching. I've had a great time using Prize Picks so far. It makes this daily fantasy thing so easy and fun, and it even makes watching the games way more exciting. And with the cool social feeds feature, you can share lineups with your friends and even follow partners to tail or fade their picks. Obviously, we're in the NFL offseason right now, but we've got basketball, baseball, hockey, all kinds of other stuff, so don't be afraid to test things out in whatever sport clicks with you. You can even pick multiple sports in the same lineup and sweat everything at once. And don't forget about team picks, where you can pick winners, spreads, and totals on any major game. So, download Prize Picks, America's #1 sports app. And don't forget, Code HMA, that is HMA, gives you $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize picks. It's good to be right. And remember, always gamble responsibly. All right, so Alex Harkey got a lot of power, got a lot of pop. His first contact into defenders has a lot of power behind it. And he's very experienced in zone. He really knows how to move. He really knows how to play in space, hit landmarks, all that kind of good stuff. He should be able to add some weight because he is kind of lean, so he can add weight without getting lopsided or weird. He also is an aggressive and violent player, and I think that stands out. He's not a finesse player. He wants to get in there, and he wants to really beat people down. Now he is probably going to slide inside, which is not the end of the world. I think his game is okay for that. But he really needs to learn how to get low because he's kind of tall as is. He really needs to learn how to play with leverage if he's going to do that. And if he doesn't learn how to get low, then we're going to have some big problems here. He doesn't have the lateral agility to hang with the better pass rushers out there. He doesn't have the slides to keep up. And it's a little Anthony Bradford like. When he loses bad. He loses ugly. So it's not necessarily worse than someone that doesn't lose ugly, but it looks worse. So there are some things here that are nice, but the length and height combination is an issue. So there's just not enough here. I go 7th round. I think 7th round is right. I don't have a problem with that. I'm worried about how his slide to the inside will work, even though there are parts of his game that I think will work with it. All right, one more guy, Nolan Rucci of Penn State, does have football in his blood, actually. 24, his father played football, 6'8", 304 pounds, so very tall, very lean. No combine, though, so we don't have intricate data. The aggregate puts him barely undrafted. The PFF big board has him in like the 6th. His play over the last 2 years has been okay. PFF grades have given him some credit. He's been all right. Not a lot of penalties. Pass rush numbers are okay-ish. So the positives with Nolan, he's good in zone. He works well when you put him in space. He has the frame to add weight, so if you need him to add weight, he can do it. He's really good at the second level. He's really good at hitting moving targets and targets that are faster and smaller and more athletic than him. And he's got clean pass slides. His pass slides are legitimate. He's just not a very physical, strong player. He is a little bit on the finesse side. So you have to know what you're getting into here. He is a zone lineman. His lean build is a little bit awkward. This is not really what you think of when you think of an offensive lineman. Minimal college experience, didn't play a lot at Penn State. I think he has like a year and a half worth of starts. And we don't have testing data at the combine to work with here, so we don't know for sure everything. So this one's hard. There's very little to go on here. He seems like he'll be good in zone, I guess, but that's about all I feel like I can say. So just wait till the 7th round. There's not enough to do anything else. So yeah, 7th round pick for Mr. Nolan. And that will do it for this video, and that will do it for the position. So tomorrow, unless something big happens tomorrow, we will be starting up with linebacker. Linebacker, you can barely see that at the bottom there, but that is going to be one of our final positions, and we are getting closer and closer to wrapping up here. So thank you for watching. Go Hawks. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Let me know what you think of these guys, and I will see you soon.